Okay, so have you ever spent, like, ages picking the perfect outfit for some event, you know?
Oh, definitely. Hours sometimes.
Right. And then you walk in and bam, this wave of dread just washes over you.
Yep. That cold certainty that you've made a terrible mistake.
Exactly. That feeling that you've got it completely wrong and worse, everyone knows it, your brilliant outfit suddenly feels, well, embarrassing.
It's such a universal feeling, isn't it? That horrible moment where the image you had in your head just shatters against reality, like the floor disappears beneath you.
Totally. And that feeling. That's where we're starting today. Welcome to the deep dive. We're getting into Virginia Woolf's short story, The New Dress. It's fascinating, sometimes pretty uncomfortable, but always really insightful.
Yeah, we've got the story itself, plus some, discussion prompts and notes to help us really dig into Mabel Waring's headspace.
Our mission, then, is to unpack this story that seems quite simple on the surface. But underneath, it's got so much to say about insecurity, perception, society's expectations.
And that whole messy relationship between what we're thinking inside and what's happening outside. Woolf is just brilliant at showing that, putting us right there in Mabel's mind.
So picture this. Mabel Waring is on her way to a party, Mrs. Dalloway's party, actually, and she's wearing this new yellow dress. You can almost feel how much hope she's pinned on this dress.
But that hope, it gets crushed fast, like almost before she's even properly arrived. It's a really quick slide from, hope to regret.
You can almost feel it physically, can't you? The story says she had this first serious suspicion that something was wrong the second she takes off her cloak.
Right. And it's not just in her head, or she doesn't think it is. Mrs. Barnett, the maid, hands her the mirror, touches her brushes.
In a way, Mabel reads as, well, drawing attention to her. It confirmed the suspicion that it was not right, not quite right, just those small gestures.
And that little seed of doubt just grows, doesn't it? It gets stronger as she went upstairs and springing at her with conviction as she greeted Clarissa Dalloway.
And then that raw thought just hits her. No, it was not right. So definite, so immediate.
Yeah, and from there, well, it's like a dam breaking. The story talks about the immediate start of her misery, her profound dissatisfaction.
And that feeling she's apparently always had ever since she was a child of being inferior to other people, it just descends on her relentlessly, remorselessly.
And her internal monologue just takes over completely. She's convinced everyone, oh, these men, oh, these women, all were thinking, what's Mabel wearing? What a fright she looks. What a hideous new dress.
She even imagines their eyelids flickering, shutting tight as they look away. Such a powerful look at how anxiety can just, spiral.
It really is, and it becomes this self-fulfilling thing, doesn't it? A tiny worry explodes into this huge crisis about her entire self.
And the really painful part is, it's not even about the dress anymore, is it? She blames herself. It was her own appalling inadequacy, her cowardice, her mean water-sprinkled blood that depressed her.
Yeah, that phrase, water-sprinkled blood, is so striking. It's like she feels fundamentally weak, diluted.
Right. And the whole process of making the dress, planning it with the dressmaker in that room, suddenly seems sordid, repulsive. The dress becomes this, symbol of all her self-doubt. Is that how you read it? It's just a trigger, right?
Absolutely. It's the trigger, the focal point. The dress itself isn't the problem. It's the mirror reflecting all her deepest insecurities back at her. Woolf is amazing at showing how this one small external thing can totally hijack her internal world.
But it's funny how she picked this dress in the first place. What was she actually trying to achieve?
Well, she knew she couldn't afford high fashion. That meant cut, meant style, meant 30 guineas at least. That wasn't happening.
So her thinking was, okay, why not be original? Why not be herself anyhow? Kind of defiant almost.
Exactly. So she goes digging through her mother's things, finds an old-fashioned book from the time of the Empire, a Paris one.
And she tells herself these older styles are much prettier, more dignified, and more womanly. She's trying to find value somewhere else, right? By looking backwards instead of forwards.
And she gets swept up in this idea. The story calls it an orgy of self-love. She plumed herself upon being modest and old-fashioned and very charming.
Like she felt this bold choice deserves some kind of, cosmic punishment. It's a strange thought.
It is. And the result is the pale yellow, idiotically old-fashioned silk dress with its long skirt and its high sleeves and its waist.
But the second she's actually at the party, among real people, it hits her. It looked okay in the book, maybe, but not on her, not among all these ordinary people.
Yeah, that crushing line, she felt like a dressmaker's dummy standing there for young people to stick pins into. The whole attempt at originality just collapses.
Completely. And the other guests don't exactly help matters, do they? Rose Shaw, for instance.
Ah, yes. Rose Shaw, described as being dressed in the height of the fashion, precisely like everybody else, always the opposite of Mabel's attempt.
And she sees Mabel's dress and says perfectly charming, but with a little satirical pucker of the lips. Ouch. Subtle but sharp.
Definitely a little dig. And that pushes Mabel into that powerful metaphor she keeps returning to.
The flies. We are all like flies trying to crawl over the edge of the saucer.
Yeah. She really tries to see everyone else that way, Rose Shaw. All of them as meager, insignificant, toiling flies. She's trying to level the playing field, make her own discomfort feel less isolating.
But it doesn't work, does it? She just can't sustain it for other people.
Nope. But she could not see them like that, not other people. She saw herself like that. She was a fly, but the others were dragonflies, butterflies, beautiful insects, dancing, fluttering, skimming, while she alone dragged herself up out of the saucer.
It's brutally honest. She even names her chief faults right there. Envy and spite, the most detestable of the vices. That's some serious self-awareness, even in the middle of her panic.
It really is. It makes you wonder how much of how we see others is just us projecting our own stuff onto them. Mabel tries to push her discomfort outwards, but her own internal struggle is just too strong.
She even tries to make a joke of it, right, with Robert Hayden. Calls herself a dowdy, decrepit, horribly dingy old fly.
Yeah, and his response is just quite polite, quite insincere. She sees right through it. Can't even get genuine sympathy.
And then, oh boy, Charles Burt. You can feel Mabel's desperation for just one kind word.
Totally. She thinks if he had only said, "Mabel, you're looking charming tonight," it would have changed her life. Just that one sentence held that much power for her.
But she sees Charles as malice itself, someone who always saw through one. So she's already expecting the worst.
And he delivers, maybe without meaning to, just by saying, "Mabel's got a new dress." For Mabel, that remark just shoved into the middle of the saucer, the poor fly.
And this throws her back into that awful indecision. She can't feel one thing always. Can't be sure Miss Milan, the dressmaker, was right and Charles is wrong. She blames her odious, weak, vacillating character.
It's that fundamental lack of self-worth, isn't it? That inability to trust her own judgment or feel secure in herself. That's the real torture.
It's such a contrast, though. The party is awful, sordid, repulsive. But then you think back to Miss Milan's workroom.
Which is described as terribly hot, stuffy, sordid, too. Objectively, maybe not much better.
Right. But there, Mabel felt an extraordinary bliss. What was it about that place?
I think it was the moment of creation, when Miss Milan handed her the mirror and she saw the finished dress. Suffused with light, she sprang into existence. What she had dreamed of herself was there, a beautiful woman, just for a second.
So it was that fleeting moment where the inside and outside matched up perfectly.
Exactly. A moment of alignment. And it wasn't just about her. She felt this real connection to Miss Milan, too.
Yeah, that deep love and pity. Seeing her crawling on the floor with her mouth full of pins, that one human being should be doing this for another. It's a rare moment where Mabel's focus is actually outward.
She sees this beauty in human nature and its patience and its endurance and its being content with such miserable, scanty, sordid little pleasures filled her eyes with tears. It's quite profound.
But then,
Oof.
hush, it's gone.
Vanished. The dress, the room, the love, the pity, all had vanished. And here she was in a corner of Mrs. Dalloway's drawing room, suffering tortures, woken wide awake to reality. It shows how fragile those good moments are, how easily the environment or just her perception can snatch them away.
So digging deeper then, it's clear it's not just the dress. What are the real roots of this unhappiness? She knows it herself, partly.
Right, she scolds herself, thinks it's paltry, weak-blooded, and petty-minded to care so much at her age with 2 children, being so utterly dependent on people's opinions.
She recognizes the flaw, but that knowledge just makes it worse somehow.
And she wishes she could be more substantial, more philosophical, able to dismiss it all with some grand thought like, there's Shakespeare, there's death, we're all weevils in a captain's biscuit.
Yeah, like she wants a big perspective to escape her own sort of small-feeling misery.
Exactly, but she feels stuck in it. And then you get that interaction with Mrs. Holman.
Oh, right, who just kind of descends on her, talking about her family problems, the son's strained heart, the daughter's swollen knee.
And Mabel just feels useless, like a house agent or a messenger boy, totally unable to connect or offer real sympathy. She feels she has no value in that moment.
She even sees them as abstract shapes, doesn't she? Mrs. Holman as a black button and herself as a yellow dot, completely detached.
Yeah, it really underscores how her own misery makes her unable to connect, unable to feel empathy. She's too wrapped up in her own internal storm.
And the story connects this so strongly to her past, her upbringing.
It does, that background. Being one of a family of 10, never having money enough, always skimping and paring, you can just picture it.
Her mother carrying great cans and the linoleum worn on the stair edges and one sordid little domestic tragedy after another. Just this relentless grind.
It makes sense that this would leave her feeling feeble, vacillating, as she puts it. Plus, those unfulfilled dreams.
Right, dreaming of India, marrying a hero like Sir Henry Lawrence.
And the reality being Hubert with his safe, permanent underling's job in the law courts. Not exactly the grand adventure she'd imagine.
So all that history, all those little disappointments and insecurities, that's the soil where this whole new dress crisis grows, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's the foundation for her lack of confidence, her vulnerability to perceived slights.
But it's not all misery, is it? The story does mention these other moments.
True. She has these delicious moments. Reading in bed, being by the sea at Easter, a divine moment, she calls it.
Even just like mundane things, carving the mutton for Sunday lunch with Hubert, suddenly feels perfect.
Yeah, those moments where she just feels, this is it, this has happened, this is it. Spontaneous joy.
It's funny how those unplanned moments work, but the ones she plans for, like the party, often fall completely flat.
It really speaks to how hard it is to manufacture happiness, doesn't it? True contentment is often found unexpectedly.
And maybe that's why she dreams of such a radical change, this fantasy she has.
About going to the London Library, finding some astonishing book, and just becoming a new person.
Or the other one, wearing a uniform, becoming sister somebody, and never having to think about clothes again.
Right. Believing this external change would somehow fix everything, bring clarity about Charles Burt and Miss Milan and this room and that room. It's that constant searching for an outside fix for an inside problem.
Yeah, that desire for a different life, a different self, to escape the current discomfort. It's relatable, I think.
Definitely. And Woolf's way of showing us this internal struggle is just revolutionary for its time.
Absolutely. Let's talk about that technique, the stream of consciousness. Woolf is famous for it, and it's so powerful in the new dress.
It really is. It lets us, as readers, or you as the listener, just drop right into Mabel's mind. You're moving seamlessly in the mind of the character and out of it, just like that.
You bounce from the party, to a childhood memory, to a worry about the dressmaker, back to the party, all without Woolf explicitly saying, now Mabel remembered. It feels very real.
Exactly. Because that's kind of how our minds work, isn't it? Not always linear. And it exposes her suppressed desires, unfulfilled ambitions, and meager financial conditions with this incredible intimacy. It's almost unsettling how close we get.
And within that stream, you pick up on these subtle points about society, about women's roles. Woolf weaves in these glimpses of early modern feminism, doesn't she? Through Mabel's thoughts on expectations and limitations.
She does. It adds another layer. It's not just one woman's anxiety attack. It's also reflecting broader societal pressures. It's a deep dive into the psyche, yes, but also the world that shapes it.
A powerful way to show how the internal and external are constantly interacting, shaping each other. How isolating these feelings can be, even when you're surrounded by people.
Definitely. And the ending. Well, it stays with you.
It does. She leaves the party, says all the polite things. Good night. I've enjoyed myself enormously, to Mrs. Dalloway.
But then instantly corrects herself internally. Lies, lies, lies.
And wraps herself in that old Chinese cloak she had worn these 20 years. Something familiar, maybe safe, and repeats that phrase.
Right in the saucer, still stuck in that metaphor, still feeling like that fly.
Wow. So this dive into the new dress, it really lays bare that universal struggle with how we see ourselves, doesn't it? And how much weight we give to what we think others think.
Absolutely. And the way past experiences just echo through our present insecurities, it highlights the incredible power of our own minds to build us up or tear us down. Often, the biggest dramas are entirely internal.
So here's something to chew on as you leave this deep dive. Think about Mabel's desperate wish for an external fix, a new book, a uniform, a whole new identity to escape her wobbly, vacillating character.
Yeah, how often do we try to solve our own discomforts with external changes? Buying something new, changing jobs, moving. Instead of maybe facing the internal stuff, like Mabel's feelings about her family, her envy, her spite.
And related to that, how much power do we give to random comments or what we perceive as judgment from others? Do we let them define our whole sense of self, the way Mabel let that yellow dress define her entire evening and maybe even more?